today's video, I'm going to be using a few black-owned makeup products. So we're just going to hop on into it. I do want to just get done with these eyebrows because I recently got them done and they are just super skinny. Even though this isn't a black-owned brand, it is still my favorite pencil. And that's the Precisely My Brow Pencil. But I will be showcasing other products that are black-owned. Starting with this one. This is by Takara Breanna Beauty, and this is a mirror. And the brand did send me a few goodies that I will be trying a little bit later on in the video. So right now, I'm just following the natural shape because today we're going to be doing very natural brows. Well, my version of natural. I miss y'all. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Today I just felt really inspired to create content, so that's why we are here, just to show you some of the new products that I've been loving lately. So why not, you know? I'm just using this e.l.f. concealer brush. So I'm just taking a brush that doesn't have anything on it, and I'm just using that to blend out the concealer. And I'm going to also map out the top with the same color concealer because I do like that highlighted look. Alright, so the brows are on, even though it took 1,025 years. But like, once I had got my eyebrows done, and the lady did them really too skinny, to be honest. So I was over here playing Barbara the Builder of a brow. I'm gonna prime, and the primer that I'm using is the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is really good if you have like larger pores or if you have drier skin. Sometimes I put on a little much, but that's okay. And I like to just kind of focus it right here on this part of my face because this is where my makeup creases. This is where you see those pores. And lift this up, y'all, and apply some on the forehead because I get a little oily on my forehead, right? Once I have this primer on my face, I do let it sit for about 2 minutes or so it can really do its job, what it's made to do. And I realized that I don't want my primer to disrupt my foundation, so doing this, and I know it looks a little white because that's how primers usually do. Let this sit in the skin for a little baby second, and then I promise your canvas is gonna look so gorgeous. So I'm gonna go wet up my beauty sponge, and then I'll be right back to apply the foundation. So I'm gonna use my favorite foundation. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, the luminous one in 430W. I applied a little bit of it on my hand using my favorite brush. This is the e.l.f. brush. Right? Use one pump. I didn't use too much because what I've realized is you don't need a lot of foundation, especially if you have nicer skin. Like, my skin isn't that bad. The most I have is darkness around my eyes and around my mouth, but my foundation pretty much does cover that up. So I'm going to go in with my concealer. I do like to use one that's kind of close to my skin tone, but does give a little bit of brightness and coverage, and this is the Morphe concealer. This one is in the color C355, and I'm going to use this right under my eyes. I don't want it to crease under the eye as much, so the least product you place under the eye, the less likely it is to crease. I'm going to apply some down my nose. I love this applicator. It's so precise and thin, and this just kind of brings my brows together so they don't look as blocky. I don't like to take the concealer too far on the forehead because my forehead is pretty big and we don't need all that. I put a little bit on the chin. I'm going to take my sponge, yes it is wet, and I start from the bottom up because I do want the concealer underneath to really settle into the skin. That's probably the last thing I'll do is my under eyes. Bring that up on the forehead, and already you can see the brightness. I know it's not as blended on my forehead, but I will come back to that. Now what I like to do is go back in with my foundation brush, and I kind of use this to blend out everything else to make sure it's blended together because I don't want you to be able to tell the difference. I just want to see lightness in this part of my face and then the rest foundation. Now before I move forward, I'm just gonna use my spoolie to kind of blend out the brows in the front so they don't look as harsh. I like to apply just a lighter coat right here. Because I'm doing a full coverage glam, I am gonna go ahead and bronze up the skin. This is the e.l.f. concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon. So I like to apply a little bit here, right down the side of my nose, but really right here, because I really want that definition to pop. And I apply some on the cheeks and on this part of my forehead, not the top, because I don't want it to be too dark up there. What this does is just adds a little bit more shape to my nose area, because I have a really rounded out face, right? And this really adds some dimension and gives me a little bit more of a snatched look. I always keep like a brush handy to really blend things out, right? I kind of blend this up into the brows. Then I go to the cheeks area, and I'm taking the side of my sponge and I'm just blending it out. It's just bringing back some of the color into the face, so I'm not looking as washed out. And I do like to kind of take it on the cheeks a little bit. All right, so now everything is pretty much wet on the face, so now I have to set it. Mercier translucent powder in the shade Honey. If you are a black girl or a woman of color, I think this should be what you use on your under eyes. That's just my preference. Everybody else has their own. And I like to take that same sponge and I use this to press into the skin. I like to bake my nose area because I really want you guys to see that to be snatched. And I do set my brow area with the sponge as well as my eyes. Okay, and I do kind of just let that sit there while I go ahead and finish up the eyes. And so for that, I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill by Morphe palette. It's one of my favorite go-to palettes. You guys know I really like these type of shades. All right, so I did bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can really see the look. I'm going to go in with those two reddish tones, and what I'm doing is I'm setting the color that I used to bronze up my nose, and I'm setting that with this color, really concentrating it right there because that is where I like for my transition to start. I do like to leave this area of the brow blank. Right now I am going to add a little bit of brown because, again, you know, browns are my jam. Going back into that same palette, I'm going to pick up the brown, this part of the palette up, which is the browner tones. Make sure that you always tap off any excess because, again, you do not want to mess up your canvas. And the one thing that's so great about the Morphe shadows is the fallout is very minimal in the Jaclyn palettes. You know, just placing this in the crease with a smaller brush. This is like a crease brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe M433. I kind of just like to tap it in, take my blank brush that I've used, and just get out those edges because it just helps it to keep its pigment still remain pretty, if that makes sense. And this is like one of my go-to color combinations, reddish brown mixed with a little bit of dark brown. And I like to use two brushes while I do this. So going back into those dark brown shades again, repeating those same steps. Just tap, 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 right? Switch over to this brush and blend out the edges. And this is a Wet n Wild brush, so you can definitely pick these up at your local Dollar Tree. Even your grocery stores has the Wet n Wild brushes, and I do like to pick them up, especially like if I'm traveling or something. So this is a product that I have used on my channel for years. This is the NYX Multitasker. It is an eyeshadow base that you can apply any color, any shimmer on top of it, and it just amplifies it to the next level. And I like to apply this on the back of my hand. You only need like that much. So for this, you have to keep your eyes down. Put them up, your eyes will be glued open. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Multitasker with this e.l.f. concealer brush, and you can literally get these anywhere. They're so good and perfect for brows and cutting creases. And you want to open your eyes, look straight, and you want to just apply it to your crease area. If you have hooded eyes, go a little bit higher, but this just works for me, right? And I just apply this on the lid all the way to my lash line. So you just want to let that dry down for a second, right? And I'm going to apply some highlighter to my lids, I think. Yeah, because I really want you guys to just see how beautiful this primer makes your eyes look. I'm going to apply the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. You can get these from Sephora. Put a little bit of the shimmer in this little top, and I'm taking the same brush that I used to apply it, tap off any excess, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it in sections, keeping the eyes open. And look at that. That is literally one section. And again, we're going full-blown glam. You can stop wherever you would like, but I'm just stopping where I started. Going back into the brown that I used to deepen it up, and I'm going to use it to close the eye, right? So right here on the outer corners. And I'm getting a little fallout, so let me take something. So now I'm just going to use my little brush and blend out the edges. So for my lashes, I'm going to be using a black owned beauty brand, of course, like I've told you guys about, Takara Breanna Beauty. But the lashes are on, so again, check out Takara Breanna Beauty. Their lashes are just freaking beautiful, okay? And they range from like very soft, pretty lashes to very dramatic. So I'm gonna take this Juvia's Place lip liner. They're in the shade Kola, but I like to use it as an eyeliner. And for me, placing something under the eyes really completes the look, okay? And this is the One Size powder in Turn Up the Base, medium dark. So I had to back you guys up a bit so you can get the full blown glam, okay? So I'm just, again, using this One Size powder, which is amazing, by the way. And I'm using this to just set everything in place. You always have to put a little bit of lash mascara under the eyes, because it really just brings the drama just as much as you have on top. So to bronze up my skin, I'm going to be using this baby right here. And this is the Juvia's Place Bronzed Bronzer in the shade Dark. They have one that's a shade lighter than this. I'll show it to you. But I don't know, I got this. When I saw it, I fell in love with it, and they didn't have the shade lighter than this, so I'm gonna go back to Ulta and pick up the other one. But this one is so beautiful. Like, if you are a dark skinned beauty or somebody who is a little bit darker than me, you will love this. You can use either of these shades as a bronzer, a blush, duo. It's amazing. Of course, I'm going to use the top to bronze. It's a little bit darker than me, but that's okay. I love this more than I love the Fenty bronzer in the shade Cocoa Naughty, which you guys know if you've watched my channel, I've been using it for years. This is the Morphe M530 brush, and I love it because it's like very, very soft, and you need that while applying this. So what I'll do is take this and use it to warm up the skin. So gorgeous. And a little goes a long way. And you can get this at Ulta. Look at that. Just freaking gorgeous, right? Can you see the difference? I'm gonna add a little bit to my cheek. Remember that color that I used on my eyes? I'm gonna also use this color as my highlighter. So I place a little bit on my fan brush, and I'm gonna use that on the cheeks. I do like to place it on the tip of my nose and on my brow bone area. Morphe Continuous Spray to Set. Takara Breanna Beauty also sent me some lip liners. I got a little note, which I really love. She says, I hope you love the liners, V. Thanks for always supporting me. This one is a universal liner because this one is just the closest to what I would actually wear. Very creamy, by the way. And very soft, might I add. So for the lip color, I'm going to use this lipstick that I got from TikTok. This one is by Loreal and it's called the Fairest Nude in the shade 800. We're getting back into lipstick, y'all. So I'm going to use one of the Takara Breanna lip glosses. Let's go in with Sneaky Link, which is a really pretty color. It's also one of the colors of the liner, so. Alright you guys, and this pretty much completes the look. I told you that bronzer and the highlighter and all that cute little stuff just really made the look. I'm looking at it in my monitor and I'm just like, yes sis, you did that. And you can too. Take some of the tips that I've given you today to really just amplify your look from the primer on down to how you set your face and the products that you are using. Some of the products that I use are affordable, some of them were Black owned, and some of them were just my tried and true favorite products. So I do really hope you guys did enjoy this video as much as I enjoy recording it. Again, I really miss you guys and I hope that this video really just guided you through your makeup process. If you're just watching for tips or for entertainment, I appreciate you nonetheless. Make sure you are subscribed to join the Vanessa Monet family because over here we do a lot of glam stuff. We make sure we are sitting pretty no matter where we are, and that's just what I want to give to you guys to help you feel beautiful no matter what your process is. Make sure you guys do check out Takara Breanna Beauty because the products speak for themselves and I'm feeling good, y'all. The lipstick is gorgeous. The lip liners are gorgeous. The lashes are gorgeous. So go ahead and check out Takara Breanna Beauty. It's a Black owned, female owned business that I wholeheartedly support. And I just support Takara Breanna Beauty because her business always supports me and allows me to share and make beautiful content for you guys using the products. And because August is Black owned business month, I just wanted to share something that I'm really passionate about. And this is the look that you guys see here. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please give it a big thumbs up because it does help with the algorithm. And I'll check you guys out in my next video. Mwah.